You know how sometimes you stumble upon a piece of ancient art and you just feel like there's a secret message in there hiding just for you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're diving into a classic Korean poem that is so much more than just pretty words. It's, believe it or not, a practical map for finding some quiet in our crazy, noisy world. Okay, just look at this. At first glance, it's 4 simple lines of these beautiful characters. In Korean, the poem sounds like this. 이두조추, 건건쪽 막중, 강산 자한가, 편월과장공. It's so elegant, right? And really mysterious. It just feels ancient. But the real question is, what is it actually saying? I mean, what kind of secrets about our own minds are hiding in these old brushstrokes? All right, let's find out. So the poet we're talking about is a man named Gyu-bo, and this guy was a total heavyweight, a brilliant scholar and official living in Korea during the Goryeo dynasty. We're talking way, way back in the 13th century. And he wrote this poem called Man-mang, which is all about capturing one single, really powerful moment. And the title itself, Man-mang, is our first big clue. Now, these characters you see are called hanja. These are essentially Chinese characters that were adopted into the Korean language, but, and this is super important, they're read with a distinct Korean pronunciation. So let's break it down. The first character, man, is read mun in Korean, and it means evening. The second one, wong, is read mang, and it means to gaze. Put them together and you get man-mang, which translates to evening view. So right away, the poem is setting a scene for us. Someone is just gazing out as the day winds down. Okay, so before we can really get to the poem's deeper, hidden message, we've got to start with what's on the surface. We need to understand the beautiful picture it's painting for us first. So let's go piece by piece, line by line, and really decode this thing. All right, first line up. In Korean, this one is pronounced I do, jo chu hu. I do, jo chu hu. Just 4 characters, but trust me, they're setting a very specific stage. So those first 2 characters, I do, that's actually a kind of shorthand. It's a name drop, really. It refers to Li Bai and Du Fu, who were basically the undisputed rock stars of classical Chinese poetry. I mean, these guys were legends. Their poetry was everywhere, super influential, incredibly brilliant, and just packed with complex language. Okay, now for the next part. Jo chu. This word is just fantastic. It's what you'd call onomatopoeic. It sounds like what it means. And what it means is to chirp noisily. I want you to picture a whole flock of birds all chattering away at the same time. Yeah, it's not a peaceful sound. It's a racket, a total cacophony of constant, energetic noise. So let's put it all together. I do chu hu. It basically means something like, after Li Bai and Du Fu chirped so noisily, it's saying that the age of that brilliant, loud, super complex poetry, well, it's over. It's past. So the big question is, what happens next? What comes after all that noise? Well, the second line gives us the answer. In Korean, it's read 건건적 막중. Let's break down what that means. Okay, get this. Gyeonggon. This doesn't just mean the world. No, it's way bigger than that. It's this grand poetic term for the entire universe, all of heaven and earth. So can you feel that? The scale of this poem just exploded. We went from talking about poets to talking about the whole cosmos. And what's this whole universe up to? It's in a state of juk-muk. Now, this word isn't just quiet, like when someone turns down the music. This is a deep, profound, almost empty kind of silence. It's an absolute, total stillness. So there you have it. The first 2 lines create this incredibly powerful image. After all the noisy chattering of the great poets is gone, the entire universe just falls into this vast, deep silence. It's a gorgeous, peaceful scene, right? But here's the twist. What if this isn't about the outside world at all? Okay, this is where things get really interesting. Because this poem, it has a completely different layer of meaning. It's not just a pretty landscape. It's actually a map of the human mind, seen through a Buddhist perspective. This right here, this is the key that unlocks the entire poem. Just think about it for a second. What if that noisy chirping isn't from long-dead poets, but from the constant, non-stop chatter happening inside your own head? And what if that huge silent universe is actually the state of your own mind when all that noise finally stops? And this table just lays it out perfectly. You've got two realities side by side. The literal meaning, after the noisy poets, the world is silent. Simple enough. But the Buddhist meaning, that's after conceptual thought stops, the mind achieves a state of deep meditation, what's known as samadhi. You see, the poet's noisy chirping is a metaphor for our own internal monologue, that endless stream of thoughts, judgments, and stories we tell ourselves. And that vast silence, that's the peace that comes when the chatter finally goes quiet.
Okay, so let's see where this goes with the third line. In Korean, it's gangsan jayanga. Gangsan, that's rivers and mountains, and jahanga means something like naturally leisurely or at ease. So the line says, the rivers and mountains are naturally at ease. Think about what that means. When your mind is finally quiet, you stop projecting all your own stuff, your worries, your plans, your judgments onto the world. You just see things as they are. And this is exactly what's meant by insight meditation, or vipassana. It's seeing reality clearly, without all the mental distortion. The mountains aren't majestic or scary, they're just mountains, existing leisurely, perfectly at peace.
And that brings us to the final line,片月掛長空. This translates to, a sliver of moon hangs in the vast sky. Wow. In Buddhism, the moon is such a powerful symbol. It's not just a rock in the sky. It represents the pure, clear, shining nature of the mind itself. It symbolizes the wisdom of enlightenment. And notice, it just appears in the sky once it's clear. It's not something you have to build or create. It's what's revealed when all the clouds of your thoughts finally drift away.
So here's the whole point, the big takeaway. Gyu-bo wasn't just writing a nice little poem about a pretty night. No, he was giving us a roadmap, a step-by-step guide for completely transforming our own minds.
I mean, look at this journey the poem lays out for us. Step 1, you quiet the noise, all that internal chatter, the poets, finally stop. Step 2, you achieve stillness. Your mind becomes as silent and vast as the entire universe. That's samadhi. Step 3, you start to see clearly. You perceive reality as it is without your mental filters. That's vipassana. And finally, step 4, wisdom arrives. The moon of enlightenment just appears in the clear sky of your mind. It's a beautiful, logical progression. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? This poem isn't some dusty old artifact. It's a timeless map. It's just as relevant for us today with our smartphones and 24-hour news cycles as it was for someone 800 years ago. It shows us the way to get from the constant noise of our lives to a place of real clarity and deep peace. So the poem leaves us with a pretty powerful question, especially for our time. I mean, our world is packed with more noisy chirping than ever before, right? All the notifications, the endless scrolling, the constant opinions. But what this ancient poem reminds us is that just beyond all of that noise, there's a silent universe and a sliver of the moon waiting for you. The only real question left is where and how are you going to find yours?